Welcome back to the channel. Today I am going to do a propagation on my little fiddle. This variety of fiddle only gets about 4 feet tall, maybe 4 to 5. This is a newer one for me. I bought it about 6 months ago. But I had some questions on the channel about how to take care of fiddles, so I thought that I would do that today. I'm going to start with the propagation on a little fiddle, and I'm going to basically zoom in, hopefully, on my B-roll and show where I'm going to be able to take some cuttings here. So here I am zoomed in, and you could see that the upper part here is green, right here. And then you get into the brown. You got a lot of nice branching going on here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right below that leaf junction. So I've got my pruner here. Finding my way back in here again. Lots of leaves and stuff coming out. Actually, I'm going to cut right above this area, this little crown area, and hopefully we can get multiple new branches coming when I do that. I'm just going to take it and I'm going to go for it. So that's that. And then what I'm going to do, this is going to drip sap too, which is somewhat toxic, so you don't want to, it's going to drip sap, but you don't want to get on your skin. I'm going to take some of these leaves off, like that. Take the other one off. So I took 3 of the leaves off, and I only want to leave 2 leaves because we want to get roots to come. And so from there I'm just going to put it in a jar. All right, so I've taken my cutting off from the, what I'm going to call the mother plant on this baby, or the little fiddle. And we're just going to put that back up where it was and let it do its thing. And hopefully we get some other growth points. Maybe we'll get 3 branches, which would be really great. So what I did, what you saw me do, is I did put the main cutting into some water. And I'm just going to put this in a nice location. Probably get some sun. And then I have never taken just the plain leaves. So the leaves that I took off from this one, I've decided I'm going to put them in water and see if I can get them to root. I've seen some people say they can. The key is only keeping the little tip part in water. So I found this little vase and I just piled them together. And then that will be kind of a nice one to watch. I have some propagations going in different areas around my house. One of the things when you do propagations that you want to set kind of a marker on your calendar so you don't get disappointed and think that it's not working. I have found that this will work on the main cutting. Within 30 days you should see some root forming, and you want to let it get 2 to 3 inches of root on it before you pot it up. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to go through the 6-week follow-up. I was going to do 4 weeks, but I got busy, on how this propagation I did on the little fiddle. The first thing I want to note, and I'll do some B-roll so you can see, is that where I took the propagation, 3 new leaves have emerged. It's going to branch out quite nicely where I took the cut. I'll do some B-roll so you can see, but it looks good. This is, hope you can see with my shirt, this is the propagation. So you can see it's got about 2 inches of roots. The longest ones did really well. And again, this is about 6 weeks, so it's perfect. And what we'll do is we'll actually pot this one up. The other thing I did was some leaves. I took those lower leaves off during the last video. And what I'm going to do is show you that on these 2, I had 3 leaves that I put in the vase. 1 died, so I'm going to throw that one. And then I have 2 other ones, and this one's got just the start, you can see, of some roots on it. So it did work just doing a leaf cutting, which is good. I'm going to leave these in the vase and let those continue. And when they get longer, I will pot those up. What I have here is a basic potting mix, and I cut about 25% more perlite into it to give it a well-draining mix. Figs don't like to be wet for very long. They want you to have well-draining substrate. And what I chose, even though these leaves are really, really tall, the root system's small, so I'm choosing a smaller pot rather than putting it in a bigger pot. And after it goes for 6 months or maybe a year, I'll see how it's doing, and I'll wait till it becomes root bound, and then I will actually pot it up into a larger size. So I'm simply going to fill the bottom, little bottom third, with some of this potting mix. And I'm going to place the cutting in there. Then I'm going to backfill with some more potting mix. It's always fun. I love doing propagations, and the fun part is seeing that we were successful. You're not always successful. I'll have some other videos coming up where I show that you're not always successful. You can see the one cutting actually didn't make it, but when you're successful, it sure feels good, and then you have a gift for a friend or family member, which is always fun too. So that was pretty simple. So I also have, this is from my larger Fiddle Leaf Fig. It was a cutting I gave my daughter, and I had rooted it, and then I found a plant deal and got her a very large one instead. And so I took this cutting back. When I got the cutting back, it was all, the roots were black, and they were not white. You could see the one I just potted had white roots on it. So I took it about 6 weeks ago, and I put it in a fresh vase of water. You need to make sure when you're doing cuttings that you're exchanging the water so it has a good oxygen. I think the water got stagnant, and that's why these roots turned black on her. So I am going to pot this one up as well. And again, this is a different variety of fiddle, even though the leaves look very similar. And I have this mixture is about 25% to 30% moistened as well. So again, I'm going to just put it in a shallow, kind of a squat pot, and I'm going to continue to care for it that way. I have a messy job. I'm always doing potting on mop day or cleaning day because it's just such a messy job. Eventually, I hope to have a greenhouse, and I can do it in there, maybe a solarium like some of the folks have, which is just kind of interesting to me. It would be awesome. Everybody says I need a greenhouse on my house. I said, yes, I think I do. So that was really simple, just to pot it up just like that. So I've got 2 new plants, and then if these other leaves go, I'll have another one there. So let's take a minute to talk about the care of fiddle leaf figs. The smaller one, the little fiddle, is up in my loft area, and that gets indirect sun. I don't think the sun ever touches it. And but it gets a strong indirect sun for about 2 hours a day maybe. I consider that area to be more light than anything because it doesn't get that much sun. The cutting I just took off from this one, I'm going to move to my office, which is a west-facing window, and in the late afternoon it gets pretty bright light, but there's no light in there until that time. I'm going to place this propagation back in the room or similar room where the mother plant was, and see how it does. I expect it's going to take 6 months before I'm going to see any new leaves come out. We are in very end of right now we're in the mid to end of March, and I'm starting to see a lot of new growth coming, so we'll see what happens during the summer. Hopefully they stay happy and they take off, then I'll have plants for family and friends. One of the reasons I take propagations, which I love doing, is so I can test out different lighting areas in my house or potting mediums. There's lots of different reasons to do it, but I like to do it for test purposes, and then I give it away. The other thing you want to know about fiddles is they don't want to be really wet, so make sure if you have fiddles that you let them dry out really well before watering. And I don't mean just the top inch, I mean let it dry out. If it gets too dry, it will drop all the leaves, and then you know you let it go too far. Don't panic if that happens. Simply take the pot, simply take your pot and submerge it in water, let it fully hydrate, and then just put it back and continue to take care of it, not letting it go quite so dry. This one is really light. I always can tell when I pick it up if it needs to be watered, and this one's ready for a water. If this video is helpful, give us a thumbs up so YouTube knows to share this content with others. Thanks for stopping by. Have a great day.